Welcome to Tuesday. It's March 14th, 2023. Your Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily and WYDOT. Don't forget to sign up for the Wyoming Travel Authorization Program. Taking a look at the west, it looks so much familiar for the past, week from what we've been showing you. We're going to say we're going to have a heat wave. It's not really a heat wave, but it will feel that way for a lot of you folks that are along and east of the divide over the next 2 days, as another West Coast storm slams California today and into tonight. Moderating temperatures as warmer air, relatively speaking, is pushed ahead of the low, and that'll give us a bit of a Chinooking effect. So some of you will enjoy spring-like temperatures through tomorrow. With this West Coast storm pushing inland, heavy rain in California and snows will push across the western United States as the system comes through. We're going to call it the leftovers because the storm is really just not going to be able to hold together or reform as it comes through. So it's the same story. The mountains and west of the divide have the best chance of snow. East of the divide, it's the leftovers. But behind the system, it's going to be downright chilly again. Cold air gets released out of Canada. So we're going to see, after 2 days of warmer temperatures, a return to chilly March temperatures, and they're going to stick. They're going to stick through the weekend, and they're going to stick into next week as well, as the warm-up will be a short-lived one. And this is a graphic similar to what we showed you yesterday for the lower 48 and most of Canada since March 1, the western United States, very, very cold relative to average. And I think this next photo kind of sums up the way it's gone so far, well, not only during the winter, but here we are, supposedly in the month where it starts to get warmer. And we got a great shot like this. This is a lifeguard at a hotel in Las Vegas last week. You always have to have a lifeguard on duty. Poor lifeguard having to sit through that while there's nobody in the pool. So even the lifeguards have got it rough in this cold weather. Today's satellite photo shows a great shot of that moisture, the next plume coming into California. A lot of water in the air there. An impressive looking area of storminess coming on in. So we've got a whole host of winter storm warnings, flood warnings, wind warnings for California, and then pushing inland as well. You can see the low, not terribly impressive in terms of structure, but there's just a lot of moisture with it getting thrown in. Here's the big New England storm that'll be making headlines today. And you can see snowing in New England right now. Very windy, stormy weather there. This is going to be the biggest snow in New England so far this winter. And then you can see what's happening along the west coast with the next storm system moving on in. You can see the winter storm warnings for the Northeast. This area right here, these are freeze warnings in effect for parts of the deep south. Then you can see a smattering of blue and pink and brown. The brown are wind warnings. The pink and the blues are winter storm warnings. The green, obviously, meaning flooding warnings for many areas of the far west with this next storm. Now, by noon Thursday, the system, the trough comes through kind of fractured, disorganized, but notice the winds aloft here now are coming in from the northwest. So that opens the door to colder weather. But here's the heat wave we've been talking about. Here are the temperature anomalies for late this afternoon. So you can see the Chinooking effect east of the divide here, where the downhill winds coming off the mountains cause compression. When air sinks off the mountain ranges, it gets compressed. When you compress a gas, you make it warmer and drier. That's why we get Chinooks east of the Rockies. And you can just see it carves out a little bit of a warm-up right here today and tomorrow. So here we go. Our 2-day spring heat wave coming on through right now. But you can see on either end of the warmer temperatures here, we got cold here and cold here. So it's temporary. Here's the precipitation forecast that takes us all the way up till Friday morning. So you can see this is extremely similar to the maps I showed you last week. In fact, it almost looks the same. You're going to get some snow coming out across the northern plains, a lot of precipitation along the west coast, the interior Great Basin states, the high country gets more snow, but east of the divide, it's a little bit more disorganized. Yeah, there's going to be some showers coming out east of the divide, not amounting to too much. And this is what the snowfall forecast looks like through Friday morning. Then behind the front, this is by Thursday evening. By 6 p.m. Thursday, we have a very sharp gradient. That shows the leading edge of the cold front right there. But look at all the green and the purple and the blues. The cold air just roars right back on in. So don't put the jackets away just yet. These are temperatures by Sunday. So for Sunday, most of the nation, the lower 48, is going to see colder than average conditions. It's going to be a chilly third weekend of March across the entire country. As a trough of low pressure, broad trough of low pressure, the jet stream is really far south for this time of year. Even though we've got this high pressure over Canada, it's cool high pressure. The air with it up here is just not warm. And we have troughiness, meaning basically an area of low pressure covers most of the nation. Not anything that's going to be organized with a lot of precipitation, but just plain old-fashioned chilly. Now, this is by next Wednesday. We have a little bit more of a robust low coming in off the coast of Washington and Oregon again. Notice there's a little bit of ridging, a little bit of high pressure trying to build right here. If this continues to build up towards the Alaska region, this low here is probably going to take on a little bit of a different flavor to it from what we've seen lately. So by the middle of next week and late next week, I think the western United States has a larger storm potential. We'll just keep an eye on it. But this is by sometime between next Wednesday and next Friday. We're going to need to keep an eye on maybe a larger storm and maybe a storm having a better opportunity to produce more rain and snow out on the plains as compared to areas west of the divide. Something we're going to keep an eye on. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll see you on Hump Day Wednesday tomorrow.